Hello, welcome back. We're continuing this series on going from a mock-up to a coded website, and in this video we're going to write the HTML. So here in Atom, I got the file saved already, index.html. So we'll go ahead and start making our page. So yep. Let's give it a title. What is the name of this company? Stackswell. Stackswell and Company. Alright, so there it is. I'm going to go ahead and tab. I like to keep my head and body all the way to the left just so it's one less indentation to worry about. Alright, so inside the body, we need, let's go back to our sketch here. We know that each of these boxes, nav, header, text 1, images, text 2, logo, footer, each of those is going to be an HTML element. And so the key thing here is just picking which element to use and coming up with appropriate class names for these. So we'll go ahead and create, obviously for the nav, we have a nav element. For the header, we have a header element. Computer's being really slow. Probably this Illustrator file is slowing down my computer, but we'll be done with that soon. So, okay, we have the header. We have some text. There's not really a great element for that, so let's look again at the mock-up and see what we might want to use, what kind of semantic element we might want to use for this. I would say maybe we could do a section. Article doesn't make sense. Yeah, probably section or div, perhaps. Maybe for the images in the video, maybe a div because it doesn't have a heading. But let's just go with sections. We'll go with sections. All right. So we have a section. God, so slow. Okay. We have a section. We're going to have 3 sections actually. One for the text, one for the images, another one for the text. And let's go ahead and give those class names so they're not just generic sections. Now, in our sketch here, we have text 1, images, text 2. I'm not going to use those names because those are very useful as class names when you're looking at your code or when someone else is looking at your code. Text 1 doesn't really mean anything. It's hard to see text 1 in the code and look at the website and know what it's referring to. So if you can, you want to come up with class names that are descriptive of the actual content. So let's look at this content. The world's premier unit shifting solutions company, blah, 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 blah. It's a lot of business jargon there. So when I did this the first time, what did I say? Selling points. Okay. So this is the code that I already made. So I called this stuff selling point. I called this, and I did use a div there, yeah. I called this media for the video and the images. And then we have this content here, the invest solutions and careers, which also are that's the navigation items there. So I called that categories. So let's go and do the same thing here. Section class equals selling points. Oh my god, I'm so sorry that my computer's being so slow. Selling points. Just gonna copy that. This one is categories. And let's go ahead and make the this one a div. This makes more sense as a div just because you're supposed to have a heading. A section would be something that has a heading inside it, and our images don't have that, so we'll just make that a div. Class equals media. Okay. And we need our footer. Okay, and I forgot about the logo image. So we have our header, text 1, which is selling points, media, categories, and then our logo and our footer. So let's add that image in here. The source it's in the images folder, and it is called logo. Logo.ping. Logo.ping, and it is the Stackswell and company logo. Okay. Now, looking back at our sketch, we talked last time about needing a container for our grid and kind of merging that with a container that makes sense semantically. So we decided that semantically it makes sense for all of this stuff to be inside a main element, and then we'll use that main element as our grid container. So let's go ahead and add that. And so it's all this stuff from the header to the logo. I'm going to tab that over, create a main element here, and close it down here. Alright, there we go. Alright, and then the rest is just, filling in the smaller content areas. So, I have for each section here for the selling points, I have a div that contains the heading and the paragraph text. I gave that a class of selling point. Zoom in a bit more. For the media, we'll come back to that, but for now you can, let's just say that that's an image. What we have here is a just kind of like a screenshot of a video. That's the file that was provided to us, but ultimately we want to actually embed that YouTube video into the page. So ultimately that will become an iframe, but for now we can just use an image. So that's image generic video that ping, and we'll just say that's a placeholder image for now. Okay. So yeah, you have your images in here. Make sure you have good alt descriptions for each one of those. You have inside your category section, again, same thing as above. You have a div containing each one. Each one has a heading and a paragraph. And And did we give that a class? We did not. Let's give this image a class. Bottom logo, just to distinguish it from the other logo that's up top in the heading. Our footer has a paragraph with the whatever the footer text is, and then inside the header we have the logo, this image, and this text, which I would call the slogan. So I would mark that up as, obviously, the logo is an image. It's oh yeah, we already looked at it. It's logo.ping. Actually, I'll just copy this. And we'll just see at the top logo. Okay, so we have the logo. We have another image, which is shipnetwork.jpg. I'll just get my alt text from what I wrote before. A person in a suit pointing at a graphic of a shipping network. Nice. And then finally our slogan, which we'll just mark up as a paragraph, I think. Is that how I did it before? Yes. Okay. Agile, disintermediated, what is it? Vision oriented. Vision hyphen oriented. Disintermediated. Okay, there's our slogan, and we'll go ahead and give that a class. Slogan. And let's give this image a class as well. This is kind of like the hero image, so we'll just call it hero. Okay, that's pretty much it. Obviously, the nav is going to be just a UL with list items. Come on, Adam. And you just need to, fill in the rest of the content. But the key things here with the HTML are, number one, always be thinking about accessibility and search engine optimization. So using the proper semantic elements, using headings only when it's actually a heading, using just in general the right semantics. Like I didn't use this text is nice and big, so you might think, oh, that should be an H1 and H2 or whatever, but it's not really a heading. It's just text. It's just big text. Just because it's big doesn't mean it's a heading. A heading would be something that logically is like creating the outline of the page. So these are most definitely headings. Invest, solutions, careers, those are headings. This, however, I think would be best marked up as just a paragraph, and then we can style it with CSS to make it nice and big. So using the right semantic elements for accessibility, and then just making sure that you have your structure laid out so that you can easily create your grid items and all that. And so we're going to turn our next video we'll get into the CSS, we'll start to create the layout, and this main element is going to become our grid container, which means, remember, its direct children are the grid items. So that will be our header, our selling points section, our media div, category section, and this bottom logo. Those will be the things that we will be able to move around in the grid. Alright, that's it for now, I'll see you in the next video.